In this video, we are going to talk about the two different kinds of selecting tools, the knife tool, and how to choose the inside and the outline colors for a shape. Illustrator wants to know what shape you want to manipulate or edit at any given time. And you can do that by using this black arrow. It's called the selection tool. And you can click on a shape and move it off the piece of paper if you want, or back on, or move it around. And it knows which one you want to move because you've clicked on it with the black arrow. The other thing that the black arrow can do is that you can actually drag something smaller, make it bigger, change the shape of it. And if you hover at the corner, you can actually rotate it as well. You can rotate it as well. So it's a very useful tool. You also use it to select shapes when you want to do other things to it that we'll learn more about in the future. As you may notice, there's also a white arrow, and that's called your direct select tool. And with your direct selection tool, it can be a little quirky. Sometimes if you already have a shape selected, it's actually best to click outside the shape and then on the shape again on a path or an anchor to select it with that white direct selection tool. And instead of selecting the whole shape, it allows you to select a single anchor and just move around a single anchor, or even a path. So if I click on this path, I can drag this path out to change how the shape looks. And it also works, so here I'm clicking on the path. It also works for changing curves. You can click on handles to change the curves of shapes that already have curves. So here's a little handle. The knife tool is an interesting tool because it allows you to cut a shape in half. So actually I'm going to use my black arrow to select this top shape. And my knife tool is actually underneath my eraser, which is actually a tool that we never really want to use. There's way better things to do than use an eraser tool, or we hardly ever use. But if we click on our eraser, so about 1/3 of the way down on the right-hand side of our toolbox, we will see that our knife tool is there. We also have a scissors tool, but that does something else that we'll talk about later. The knife tool works like this. It lets you cut through a shape. So if you have a shape selected, so step 1, select the shape with the black arrow. Select 2, start outside of a shape, draw a line through and end outside of a shape. Now, what we can do is we can actually see that this has been cut across the shape. Down here, you may see something that looks like an X-Acto blade. That's the slice tool. You might be tempted to want to use that, but that's for something else. That's for like a very old way of making websites where they would make an image and slice it up into different shapes on a website. So avoid this tool. It's not your friend. What you want to use if you want to cut a shape in half is a knife tool. Again, the way that it works is select a shape with the black arrow, take your knife tool, start outside of the shape, draw, and end outside of the shape. Now, as we see, the whole shape is selected. If I want to select just part of it, I click outside the shape. I can use this black arrow and move it over. The last thing that I'm going to show you in this video is how to change the inside color and the outline, the path color. Right here we have our fill, which means the inside of the shape, and our stroke, which is Illustrator's way of referring to the outline of the shape. So we can click on the fill and choose any color we like, and it will only affect the shape that we have selected with our black arrow. We can also change the stroke, but to be able to see it a little bit better, let's go up to the top. You may see that you can also change the inside fill with some quick colors up here. And we have something called stroke. Right now it's at 1 point. That's the default. When you see things designed with a 1 point stroke, it's usually just because someone has left it the way the computer chose to have it, the program chose to have it. A lot better is usually if you say no stroke, I don't want any outline, or maybe I want a thicker outline. And just move up the stroke points until it looks the way you want it to look. To change that stroke color, again at the top, we have these presets that are there, or we can double click down here and choose any color that we want. Oops. Let's change that back. All right. So if you click on the stroke, then you can change the stroke color. There we go. As you see, this palette also pops out sometimes, and you can use the eyedropper tool to also change what color you want that stroke to be. If you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for.